environment,
Yep.
you know, no jet lag, going to kind of hurt him, things like that. So we are actually in a champion select now, so hopefully this kind of works out. Hopefully I'm audible. This is seriously not as good as I was hoping it would be, this microphone. But CLG.EU are going to be first pick, first ban. They've banned out Jax so far, and we're going to see what Made in Italy goes for.
Yeah, we will have to see what these guys can do. And they're up on the screen. We do see Jax, Ari banned out. Ari, huge, just always banned in the European scene. North America, you'll see all over the place. Korea as well, banning her out a lot. But Korea also likes to ban out a ton of Vayne as well. So you see regions banning out different champions for how they played. Darius coming out as well, and Morgana, those effective mids, a few effective tops, or possible junglers.
Yeah, so right now it's mostly CLG banning out top laners to give Wicked the matchup he wants, and Made in Italy are kind of just trying to ban out Froggen. But the weird thing is they're not banning his very, very typical junglers, or his very typical mids, right? He's kind of known for, he's been playing Karthus recently,
right.
Kog'Maw and Anivia, kind of his two mainstays otherwise. But they're dropping out these ones that are kind of off to the side, Ari and Morgana getting kicked out.
Yeah, we got to see Gragas as well. They're kind of shut down the range here for APs. Morgana, Ari, and Gragas both having some quite good range to get their abilities out, initiate those team fights with a flash out Morgana, Ari from far away, Gragas from far away. So it looks like we're actually going for somewhat of a melee composition somewhere in here.
Yeah, those are two fairly good anti-melee champions. Ari
wow,
can
and more range.
Well. Yeah, so they're banning, you know, mages over and over. It's not a bad choice, of course. I'm just a little bit surprised by their choices there because, you know, those aren't the main sort of known champions for Froggen. And there we go, CLG getting that first pick, insta-lock that Urgot. That is what we saw all day at Major League Gaming back in Anaheim last weekend, and it seems to be repeating itself. Now this patch, for what it's worth, the MLG patch was actually played on Darius, which means those recent nerfs onto Darius, the nerfs onto Urgot, nerfs onto Nautilus, those didn't go through. At DreamHack, those are in place here. So the Shen cooldown nerf on his passive, the Nautilus W damage nerf, the Urgot shield nerf, those are in place here. And they're still going for these same champions. You can see that Nautilus grabbed right away by Made in Italy, and you're also seeing that Urgot first pick by CLG Gaming.
And, you know, this is actually what they wanted. They banned out the long ranges, and they have an in-your-face team anchor grab from Nautilus, as well as Shen getting in there to taunt. Even after Stand United, he's going to want to be the first one in the fight. So you have two great initiations right there. And as well, you do have CLG choosing a little bit of range for themselves. So you got Krepo on the outside with that Urgot, as well as Soraka to just mana battery Urgot on bottom lane. It's going to be huge for them, and they're going to be able to push out and be very aggressive in that lane in the early game.
Yeah, I really like the picks here that have been made by CLG so far because, you know, Soraka is the best support both with and against Urgot. You either feed that guy mana and then he really can't die, or you give him the armor and you combine that with his shield and you're going to kind of not break through anytime soon. But at the same time, you fight against an Urgot, and, you know, if he gets the lock on, you just silence him and he whiffs all the Acid Hunters, or you just give armor to whatever he locked onto and you're not going to deal much damage.
Right.
Basically, you know, in either case, Soraka's going to do a phenomenal job, and it's great by CLG to have grabbed that.
Yeah, and they actually go as well for Aurelia too. Looks like it could be a top laner for Wicked, and it looks like we will see Z-Clips picking up that Alistar. Alistar very versatile, can throw him in the jungle as well, but you can also have him as support. It looks like we will already have a jungler for Made in Italy, and they do actually switch over to the Leona. So right now you have a very aggressive team coming from Made in Italy, as well as that Kennen. We're going to go ahead and get that Flash Ultimate Poke Comp shutdown. So it's really not going to be that good for Urgot. Krepo's really going to have to stay on the outside. And from what it looks like, he doesn't want to switch anybody on that team.
Nice. So here we go. Froggen right now contemplating the Anivia, and I love the Anivia-Urgot combo. We actually did see that at MLG as well. You could get a nice little swap, and then you'd wall off the entire fight. You'd kind of put him in a bad position. You'd let your Urgot run back into place. And some interesting choices here, though, by Made in Italy. Their entire team, except for this Corki, is pretty much unswappable. If you swap in Nautilus or Leona or Shen, you're not going to like that very much. Kennen can still slicing Maelstrom into Zonias. And Corki, realistically, should be able to walk away with Valkyrie from these fights. So they've kind of tailored their entire team around dealing with Urgot. And I like that strategy. I think it's going to work pretty well for them.
Yeah, and if you look, every champion that they banned out shuts that down. For that swap, Ari's going to charm you back in, Dark Binding or Soul Shackle for Morgana, and Orianna just has the ability to displace the entire team with her ultimate.
Yeah, so they got rid of a lot of those crowd controls. Again, they got rid of those melee shutdowns. They're running triple melee, and of course you've got Kennen who wants to run into the fray as well.
Right.
Yeah, these are all people who are just going to end up getting hurt by a Morgana. So it's really smart of them to try to ban out those sort of counter picks. I think they did sort of plan what they wanted to do. They've got to know, of course, that Urgot's going to be that very obvious ranged carry pick, and so they basically grabbed the team comp knowing that was going to get picked up, and I think it's despite how popular Urgot has been and how powerful he's been, you can build against that. You can build around that sort of liability, and I think that's what they tried to do here.
Right.
And I think it has a really good chance of working out.
These choices for CLG are great. They needed champions that can peel very hard. You have a Leona, you have a Shen, and you have a Nautilus. For Aurelia to be able to peel off, we're going to have Twisted Advance from Maokai as Nautilus or Shen comes in for the taunt to get that AD carry out of there safely. They're going to have to really work on peeling Made in Italy off of their carries because they have such a jump on you team. It's going to be very hard to get any of those tanks down in health, so you're not going to want to really use any of your cooldowns. Just get out safely.
Yeah, it's basically the case here, but we're going to see we've got two very aggressive ganking junglers here.
Yep.
The top lane both have crowd control, whether it's Aurelia or Shen. In that bottom lane, you've got a ton of crowd control from Leona, and Corki can follow up. And, of course, with Urgot in there for Acid Hunters and the Silence, you've got a decent amount of pressure bottom lane for CLG. I think Made in Italy's bot lane is stronger as far as securing kills with the jungler. In the mid lane, you've got Anivia Wall, and she's got a stun there as well. And you've got Kennen, who can also trigger some stuns. So you've got crowd control kind of everywhere on this lineup, and you're going to sync that up with crowd controlling junglers. You're going to have a lot of early action from these team compositions.
Yeah, it's really going to be huge. We may even see some level 1 invasions. There is a lot of CC coming from that Shen, that Nautilus, and the Leona, depending on what skills she wants to get. And really, it can be the Q or W in lane. It really doesn't hurt her too much.
Yeah, she can kind of go either way. But we are going to hit up that load screen. And, so right now, we know the champions. What's your prediction?
I think MIT is going to be able to come out very early. They have a lot of aggression. But if they can't carry it into late game, they're not going to have very many damaging champions. Nautilus can still somewhat do damage as his W scales with his leveling. Shen, so much he's only going to be able to poke every so often. Once he gets that taunt, and if it misses, you're almost out of energy. As well as Kennen, you're going to be really relying on that AP. So if they focus mid, their damage is gone. They have Corki bottom. It's going to be a little bit harder since it's warded. You won't be able to focus it as much, but really they're going to have to shut down either Corki or Kennen if this is going to be an early game.
I see that point, yeah. Aurelia's going to have a better late game than Shen in terms of power and carry potential. She will outscale there, but the difficulty is, of course, Shen can chain split push. So
yeah, that's true.
The ability to late game exceptionally well here, it'll be scary. So let's pull the audience. Hey, audience. If you guys want Catallogic Gaming to win this one, you want CLG to take it over, and by the way, just to set it up for you guys, the winner of this game makes it into the main event tomorrow. The loser does not. So this is a very, very important game for both these teams.
And they can hear you.
And they can hear you guys cheer because they're like right over there. So if you want Counterlogic Gaming to take this game and make it into tomorrow's event, let me hear you guys cheer in the audience.
All right, and for another team on the map, another team representing the European scene. If you guys want to see Made in Italy make it to tomorrow and bring a new team into the League of Legends scene, let me hear you in the crowd. All right, so okay. I think we saw the obvious favorite there before the call even. We could see it in the smiles.
Yep.
And we will have this match now underway for DreamHack Summer 2012.
Yeah, so let's see what we've got here. Everyone kind of being a little bit defensive and safe right now in the early game. We can see Shen here in the brush kind of watching out. We see Leona actually moving around at the bottom. Puts a nice aggressive ward there. It's a very good move so they can see what Snoopy's up to. They can see where Maokai goes. Very, very smart choice by her.
And it looks like they're being very careful right now. Snoopy's setting up to just take those Wraith camps out. Very nice job. They will be going for a regular Wolves and then red or blue here for MIT. It looks like Snoopy will also go for the same regular jungle pattern for Maokai. They will go ahead and help him out with blue. Very interesting that they didn't choose to do a level 1 invade. Maokai, when counter jungle, is actually quite slow, but then again, Nautilus can experience the same slowness if he is countered as well, or that counter jungle did not go as well. The blue goes off without a hitch there. Smite is used. Looks like Snoopy will also have to use his smite as well as he gets that last sapling down, and both blues now both junglers with their blue. The laning phase has begun, and we're about to see them in another minute as they go to assist their lanes. Looks like not too much aggression from any lane right now. A good damage on Eclipse from Aurelia up top as Wicked gets aggressive on those first amount of CS. And everybody begins their lane. We're only 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. Money's even, so really, obviously, no upper hand right now.
Wow, so actually Shen chose to not level a skill yet in case of an early gank from that Maokai. Wanted to save the point in Shadow Dash in case he wanted it. At this point, he's got to kind of know that Maokai's not ganking here, but still taking a whole lot of damage. Aurelia jumping onto him, down to 90 health, getting back to his turret. He's got health potions, but he's taking a lot of pain there.
Yeah, it took Vorpal Blade. He wants to be able to sustain in lane now. Wicked kind of took that to his advantage and saw, you know, I'm not getting bladed. He's not shielding. He's not taunting. He went very aggressive, used Ignite right off the bat. Wicked's really going to win himself that early lane. Bottom is going to get toxic. Jake trying to get out of that one. They did get it onto Leona, but does he want to waste the cooldown? Yes, he does! Snoopy with the twisted advance! And the first blood coming in for Yellow Pete. A very nice job there. They saw Snoopy coming in. You know, the toxic corrosive charge hit Leona. They were still trying to go for Corki, but once Snoopy was on his way in, they instantly shut down Leona. First blood down bottom. That's going to put him up 500 gold really early.
And I really like the jungle pattern that Snoopy used. So he did the opening on Wraiths, as most Maokais do. Took his golem, took wolves, then Wraiths respawned, and from that he got level 3. He got to save his lizard there. Level 3, he got 1 point in all of his abilities, and it allowed him a really, really good level 3 gank. Very quick on, obviously. It's not even 4 minutes yet, and she's walking back to the lane by this point. So a very intelligent jungle pattern and good coordination with his team. I've got to assume that's a very practiced pattern by this point, because it's just a smart pattern. It's nothing too gimmicky or anything. You just kind of clear the mobs out.
Yep.
And his team's got to know that timing, so I got to appreciate the teamwork there from CLG.
Froggen playing very careful mid. Sees that Agwan in the jungle. It looks like Nautilus will start to head top. However, Wicked not in his lane. So is Nautilus going to be patient enough? Toxic Hunter hit on Jake. Jake gets another hit. Oh, 110 health left. Leona trying to stay in the front and shield off. Stun Yellow Pete so he can't get any further in there. Jake has to be very careful as he didn't use Valkyrie there, but he still could get ganked quite soon. They only have a ward in Tribush.
Ooh, yep. Wicked getting away from this top lane gank. Nautilus did wait in that brush. He basically just chain CC'd Wicked for a very, very long time. Got him down to about 1/4 health there, but he did finally flash away at the end.
Twisted advance. Oh, Dr. Matt flashing under turret. Snoopy gets hit twice, and he gets the third shuriken down for the stun. Oh, amazing flash there. Almost getting the anchor toss right behind his line of minions. Froggen would have been shut down for double buff Kennen and Nautilus. A very nice turnaround there on the 1-for-1. 5 minutes into the game, both teams seem to be showing some pretty good aggression.
All right, we can see a giant minion wave pushed up towards Wicked's face right now. He should be okay to last hit most of this, though. This should be a pretty decent minion wave for him. We're going to see him kind of milling about, picking up some minions. Nice little uses of the Blade Surge there to make sure he last hits them appropriately. Look at that, just kind of just jumping around the battlefield, getting... Oh, I actually missed one. Oh, Wicked. You're silly. Anyways, Aurelia last hitting a turret. Not surprised.
Very nice. Froggenstein is trying to stay close to his turret. Anivia not having the easiest time to last hit, but hitting him methodically so Froggen can get all of the CS he needs. We do see that Maokai kind of heading down bottom. They're trying to time this. They do have about a minute or so left on the enemy's blue. We do see a huge Zenith Blade coming in from Keela, but that initiation a little out of position here. Here comes Snoopy from the jungle on the left side. The twisted advance going to come down, and that will be the second kill for Yellow Pete. Not somebody you want to start feeding kills early in the game. And like I said, if CLG wants to be able to take away that early strong team comp, they're going to have to shut down either Dr. Matt in middle or that bottom Jake Corki.
Yeah, well, right now, Yellow Pete's having a fun time in that bottom lane. Urgot's going to be the first to level 6 of those AD carries. It will help him quite a lot. And so I think they can ride that to success for now. Wicked the same way on Aurelia. 44 minions to 27. You know, is also having a very, very good early game right now. And, of course, with the early first blood is a pretty big deal. Now, yes, Nivia's not having a great time, but... You know, because they've shut down the other two lanes, they're okay. I think they're going to be okay with letting just Kennen have the gold. You said they should maybe shut down Kennen, but they could also shut down Corki. And oh, a nice advance over the wall. Dr. Matt, so much damage. Going to get, no, the shutouts was going to keep him alive right now. He's landing a lot of roots. Dr. Matt still very low. He's not falling down. A double kill for Made in Italy. That was a clutch Clutch stand.
The bottom lane, a little bit of damage here. They are going on Keela, but absolutely just amazing job by Dr. Matt. One of the things I will always say is if you know you're going down, stay in the fight, because things like that will happen. The red buff kept ticking. The red buff helped do a lot of damage over time, and they were able to shut that one down. Beautiful job by Made in Italy. A lot of aggression up top as Wicked goes in for a little bit of true damage there. Eclipse says, I'm ready to back. This is quite push, though. Does he want to lose this experience?
Well, it depends if he might have to, right? At this point, he's probably safe, but the thing is, Wicked will control this minion wave. It's not going to push to his turret anytime soon.
Right.
Because you look at it, it's a cannon in 3 minions versus a cannon in 2. That's not going to shove very fast. So, you know, Z-Eclipse can either come out and fight and get kind of beaten down, or he can just recall kind of away from his turret and just have to deal with it.
Yeah, Wicked also doing a very good job of not letting him back as well. That mind game he's playing with his Eclipse, and he says, you know what? Okay, I'll stay in lane, CS a little bit more. We just had the blue buff donated over to Froggen. Looks like he will also go ahead and take Wraiths. We see that very much lately, that the mid will go back, take Wraiths, even sometimes take the enemy Wraiths as well to keep themselves on top of the game. A nice forward ward keeps that bottom lane quite safe as Z-Clips almost forced it back now to the turret. Wicked getting hit, and the last turret shot will take him down. A 1-for-1 there as the jungle will cover top lane. Now this is awesome for CLG's jungle as well. Snoopy is going to know he kind of has free roam with Nautilus up top.
Yeah, they could make a move to send 4 bottom and go for the dragon attempt. Thing is, you can see that kind of knows about it. He's kind of cheering towards the bottom. He sees that Nivea's still there though, so it's not going to be quite a dragon attempt yet. But certainly that was a possibility. I've got to a little bit question that dive though from Wicked, because he was already shutting down Shen, and he kind of just said, well, let's just both get some gold. Let's both kind of catch up a little bit. I'm just not sure it was, the best of all situations for him. Still some pressure going on. This Corki taking some damage. Yellow Feet harassing quite well. And of course, he is winning that lane, so he's already got the Brutalizer with those 2 kills. They've kept the gold equal right now, 11,000 apiece. And I think Counterlogic Gaming needs to realize they might have been a little bit too confident early on in this game. The game is basically tied. And of course, they're the heavy favorite coming into this match. They've got to make sure they secure this win, because I think they're expected to make it out. But again, Made in Italy playing very, very well.
Yeah, they're definitely showing that they did their homework, they knew what to bring to the table for CLG.EU, or even that they just wanted to do their own thing. We saw that champions were banned out that aren't necessarily used by CLG that much, but this team comp that they have brought to the table of in-your-face aggression, 3 tanks, Leona, Shen, as well as Nautilus, they can really just handle it early game as well. They're going to go for this dragon here at about 10 minutes. They don't have great vision on the map, but they do have vision of the enemy champions in lane, and that's going to be enough for them to grab this first one completely uncontested. It looks like CLG is just trying to do what they can in lane. We will have that at 1620 for your next dragon.
Yeah, that's very, very excellent by Made in Italy. You can see Counterlogic are very, very secure. And of course they do know, hey, everyone left lane. Hey, they all came back together. So, spectators or not, they definitely know the Dragon Timer as well. You're going to expect these guys to put up a fight next time, unless they think that the 1,000 gold doesn't matter too much. Of course, while that lane was gone, every lane did get to farm. You can see the gold income actually very close together despite that dragon and despite the kill deficit. So Counterlogic Gaming doing a very good job last hitting in their lanes. There's 1 minion left here. Snoopy having to hide off towards the back. That last minion falls. Shen might be able to spot him. This minion's going to be too close. Yeah, Snoopy's not going to be able to sneak in. Oh my gosh, he did. No, he didn't. Just kidding. He's actually still here. Okay. I was looking over at the hidden spectator screen, and I didn't,
Going in for the attack. Twisted advance to come out now. The taunt will bring him closer to the turret, but they are not yet under it. They do have those 2 ultimates, but it is not going to negate tower damage, so Maokai not really necessarily wanting to throw that down. They meet each other here. Very nice sapling coming up on the right side. He's going to eat that up, so they do not have any more vision there, but knowing that Nautilus is top is going to allow Aurelia to just kind of hang out. Wicked is more than happy to farm with that ward in Tribush, and her ward just outside to see now.
Yeah, that was a really good Spidey sense, too, by Snoopy. To about leave, and it was like, wait a second. I might need to ward that. It was very, very excellent. But you can see this bottom lane. They are not enjoying Soraka Urgot. You can just see how bullied this Corki and Leona are right now. Corki does have someone to heal, though. He could bait a very... Oh, there's a swap in onto Leona. Can they do the damage? She stuns up on a Soraka. Soraka actually taking turret damage right now. She's not enjoying this whatsoever. Yellow Pete trying to show up, but there comes the Shen ultimate. This could be very, very ugly. Kiela still not going down. Finally picked up the kill, but Shen going to pick up this Soraka almost for certain. She's exhausting and trying to run away. He picks up the kill with a Vorpal Strike. and they just traded supports right now. However, Shen did pop his ultimate, so Aurelia is going to get free farm here.
Yeah, that's going to be big for Wicked. Wicked is already, he actually has no gold pretends yet. He just went back and grabbed a Doran's because he knew he had the upper hand in lane. Probably has a good amount of money sitting there. We do have Shen grabbing up a recurve, as well as kind of just buying all sorts of recipes to help himself in lane. He did get that Heart of Gold. He did then grab a Chain Vest as well for that damage mitigation on Aurelia. And now he hopes to get a little bit of that MR with his Wit's End. He does have the recurve back to lane. That's going to help him farm a little bit. But having that tough lane, now being 2-1-2 while utilizing his ultimate will help him farm against Aurelia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kennen, huge buys.
Oh, man, he's picked up. Let's see, what did he grab right there? Oh, man, the needlessly large rods. He's going to get, I would assume, the Zonias, and that is not far away right now. He's only needs about 1,000 gold to afford that right there. Wicked, though, has 2,000 gold saved up, so he can easily switch over and grab that Wit's End, which I think is what he's saving for. He's also playing very, very safely. You can see he's sitting in the brush, last hitting almost exclusively with Blade Surge, and just, again, running to the brush, making sure no one is sneaking up on him. He's there so that Nautilus cannot sneak through the lane brush to pick him up.
And a very good ward over by Wraiths will pick up Nautilus. They say, you know what, blue is safe to do. Nautilus is going to start heading top. They're going to give this to Froggen, so we should see the enemy blue as well, Made in Italy's blue, come up quite soon. Looks like they're going to be able to grab that Nautilus coming up for that gank, but a ward, a pink ward, still sitting there for Wicked. They can't see him in the bush, but Wicked will be able to stay out of range of that initiation.
Yep, he will be safe there. Snoopy going to mill about, going for it looks like an Aegis next. He's not too far away on that. Nautilus actually going for the faster Shirelias, so Made in Italy going for an interesting strategy. This is more early game based. Rushing the Shirelia's Reverie means they really want to force some ganks as soon as that item is done. They want to pressure in and really, really pick up kills. You can see he's kind of building the pieces. Actually, no, he's switched. He's keeping the Kindle Gem and then also going for the Aegis. So I take that back. I misread that build. Did want that cooldown reduction, but is now switching over and going for Aegis just like Snoopy is. Bottom lane, more pressure. Jake taking so much damage. Has to pop his Summoner heal. A great stun on the Yellow Pete, but he walked out of turret range just in time. And another Acid Hunter lock on. He could dive the turret for it. One more shot, picks it up.
Wow, so much damage coming from Urgot. You cannot let Soraka be that support. They are just able to feed him with mana over and over. Like I said before, that mana battery, she does not run out. So Urgot is always able to hit those Toxic Hunters, or Acid Hunters rather, and just continuously beat down on the team. Even Leona not even being able to take that damage now.
Yeah, and we're just seeing the kind of champions resetting in their lanes. Corki, Leona going to make their way back down. Yellow Pete, I gotta say, is hard carrying Counter Logic right now. He is the reason that they are doing so well. And of course, you've got to hand it over to Crepo as well. Of course, playing an amazing Soraka. But this bottom lane is what's keeping Counter Logic in this game. And uh-oh, here comes a Kennen gank to that bottom lane. He's got a lot of ability power. They've got good magic resist. We'll see what happens. He's got the swap, goes for it immediately to try to give himself that armor and magic resist. And look at that, he cannot chase through. He's now pretty safe under this turret, but they're still diving in. This could be ugly. He's still taking damage.
Wow.
The skill shots are coming out. Exhaust doing some damage. There we go. A nice escape by CLG.
Yeah, it was an amazing switch. Like you said, that armor and magic resistance to quickly come up with his shield. Dr. Matt is 2 levels above Yellow Pete and was hardly doing any damage. Really well thought out as that happened in an instant. Now, look at these junglers as well. I got to give it to Nautilus for keeping himself in this game and actually above Snoopy. Now 1-0-1, 89 creeps. He has 10 to Snoopy's 8. So these guys are really keeping themselves in it. Snoopy's been able to grab some assists, but that kill on Nautilus with the assist really helping and really allowing those tanks to start coming out. 5-5 now as they even it up. Flash Frost down. A good amount of double damage onto Z-Clips. He's forced to flash over the wall. I think his taunt was down possibly. And looks like they will be out of that fight. They do not feel safe about it. Dragon just came up 10 seconds ago. CLG will now try to counter this as there are quite a bit of wards in that area. Both teams have vision.
Yeah, look at the setup here. They put all these wards over at the top side so they can see all the entrance there, and Aurelia stuck on that little circle brush there to the left and made sure they could not come in. It was very, very good orchestration by that Counter Logic Gaming lineup. Everyone knew their roles and everyone took a position to make sure they couldn't get invaded on. That was very, very well played by them.
Very nice. We'll have a 2250 Dragon. So the next time we will see both teams trying to focus on that. It may even be for a Baron. These teams being very aggressive right now, and I would not count out a fight for that as well to force each other into it. Crepo staying bottom, kind of getting as many creeps as he can, as Urgot now coming up to grab that entire wave. They still have a few wards up, so they see Corki as well going through the river right now. They see him coming. Aurelia, Wicked is actually going to go mid here. Maybe they might be able to counter this. Froggen seems to be backing here. Froggen almost getting caught by Zenith Blade there. Keela, however, not deciding to initiate.
Yeah, right now they're going to be a little bit more defensive here. Froggen has the Rod of Ages, going to walk backwards, get some little bit of mana from Soraka, and then head on back in. Crepo actually going cooldown boots right now to spam those heals and mana infuses a little bit more often. Pretty cool build there. Of course, has maxed his heal, ignoring Starcall at the moment. And there we go, Froggen putting down his ultimate will just wave clear minions over and over. And this is going to be a bit of a difficulty here.
Oh, Wicked flashing it up top. Looks like he did over half health already, but then says, all right, I give up. I can't see what's around me. Almost getting that kill there, but Shen getting out just enough armor, buying that chain vest early.
Yeah, that does help him out quite a bit there. But yeah, so Counterlogic Gaming has really, really good minion wave clearing. It's going to be in their favor a lot because it will be very difficult for MIT to actually push into their turrets as a result. Now they have Corki and Cannon who can poke into those turrets. They'll do decent damage, but if they ever get too close, Urgot gets to swap them. And so it'll be very, very hard for Counterlogic to lose any turrets if they put their mind to defending them. Of course, they got that earlier gank at bottom that was very, very strong by Cannon showing up. But other than that, I think it's going to be very difficult for the Italian team to get through and actually pick up turrets here.
Yeah, they're going to grab this blue. Looks like it's going to go down very fast to Froggen. We'll see that blue come up around 26 as well. So everybody, CLG now has the timers of Made in Italy for their dragon, or the dragon rather, and their blue. So they're not looking good. They do have good vision around the map as well. They're moving in numbers now, but MIT ready to fight as well. They put 3 or 4 mid now. Shen still top, as Freak said earlier, allowing them to do that split push, but will it be fast enough with also, Freak said, the ability to clear waves coming from CLG.EU now.
Wow, and more pressure coming in from Wicked at this top lane. Eclipse taking a fair amount of damage here, and Wicked, of course, yeah, he's just healing himself back up, of course, with that He-10 style. Not a big problem for him. Some pretty aggressive warding here. Actually, when you end up putting down pink wards, to try to actually sweep any defensive wards that CLG might have. Oh, and an amazing gank in this top lane. Wicked's not going to enjoy this. There's the ultimate as well from Nautilus. He's going to keep trying to run. He took, nice. A nice juke there, running down towards Maokai. Maokai will ult up. There's the root and the knockup. Wicked still trying to run. No, the taunt is still there. That will be a kill picked up.
Oh, wow. Still going for Snoopy here with a lot of armor, though. They decide to back off. Will Matt come in here with the slicing Maelstrom? It looks like they try to see if he's backing. Snoopy has, however, walked himself all the way back to that second turret. And they will see what they can do. Their blue is still up, and it looks like they're actually having the entire team go for red besides Corki, who is farming bottom. This would be one of those chances to kind of back on that Baron fight, but I don't think they have enough damage yet. Urgot only with that BF Sword Brutalizer right now.
Yeah, it's interesting that Yellow Pete's going for a more offensive-oriented build. Normally you see Brutalizer, Glacial Shroud, and you work for cooldown reduction plus tank. But he is the only guy who's really positive in this game right now. Now, certainly, there's a lot of gold on his team, but he is the only one above 7,000 in the game, actually. He's 1,000 gold above anyone else in the entire lineup. And I think he needs to say, hey, you know, we're only up 2,000 gold, and most of that's mine. I need to build as a carry. He goes for that Bloodthirster. He really is going to say, hey, I'm the big damage dealer here. You know, Wicked, you're going to build a bit tanky. You can see the Phage picked up now. In addition to the Wit's End, definitely has a good bit of durability to go with his damage. Of course, Froggen is Anivia, so he's going to just kind of spin the roulette wheel and pick items at random. And you know, they're going to rely on that, you know, giant physical damage to come from Urgot. And I don't think that's a bad choice at all.
Snoopy now grabbing up the red here. Urgot returning bottom to farm up that entire wave coming in. Looks like he will be able to get about 2 there. Yellow Pete more than happy to take that out with the highest CS in the game right now at 180. Froggen right behind him at 180 now as he just got 3 more, probably with that ultimate. And we're going to see that CLG.EU does have a very aggressive farm here. Most of Made in Italy has just capped about 130 CS, as it's always 150. And Snoopy at an 85 right now. So CLG keeping themselves in with the money. We can see that they are about 2,000 gold ahead about. So that's going to be very nice for them. And item completion, the Bloodthirster on Urgot, sustain in lane, as well as more armor, magic resistance from his ult, more armor from Soraka. So these fights are just going to be like, hey, we could focus Yellow Pete. Nothing's going to happen.
All right, here we go. Oh, he goes for the swap, and he gets it right through the Valkyrie. Jake taking a lot of damage, but Shen is about to show up. This could suck for Yellow Pete. Krubba putting on some heals, and he's going to have to flash away. He does not want to get caught by Shen, but they're still chasing down 2 more members of the team. Coming down, there's no turret to defend themselves. Nope, they're going to be safe right now. They've pushed toward this mid turret. Nautilus in behind. There's some very interesting positioning going on right now. This could go any way at all.
And here we are, 2250. That dragon is about to pop. Here it goes. Both teams now have that timer. Like I said, it was warded for both. Enemies blue coming up in 3 minutes here, so this is going to be a big fight. They are going to want that blue if they miss this dragon. They do grab their own. Dragons are 1 for 1 in the game. The money is a bit even there. Dr. Matt taking a lot of damage as he is the one that needs to get past the tanky front line. Slicing Maelstrom was already used. Can they do enough damage here to continue the fight? Anivia taking down Leona. Keela falls. Z-Clips trying to keep alive, and this is what I was saying, Freak. Those tanks are not going to be able to do enough damage. They are getting peeled out of this fight, and Anchor Toss keeps him away. High 10 in, and that Blade Surge as well, keeping himself in there with the damage. The tick is down. Oh, one more time. Froggen says you're not getting away, and they take out 4 of Made in Italy.
And that was absolutely great from that counter logic lineup. The Dragon did go to Made in Italy, but they came in. Snoopy just jumped in there, started the rooting, and they just went immediately for Dr. Matt. He had his Zonias early. The Kennen could not get into the middle of the enemy team. And even though it seems silly, oh, he's got Zonias, let's focus him first. Right? He's gonna pop the Zonias and be safe. But it prevented him from getting that slicing Maelstrom on to the rest of that lineup. He is doing the best out of everyone on his team. He is the biggest threat. They have to push him away first. And that was the choice they made. And Wicked was still able to chase him down despite the flash and assassinate him. So, you know, it went very, very well for them. Ultimately, a very well orchestrated fight. Everyone did survive. Everyone got away just in time. And they picked up 4 kills for free.
That's very big there. Corki was able to do a lot of damage. Like you said, Kennen was just pushed out. His ult went down, but everyone was able to just step out of it. That's the damage they need right now. Made in Italy now trying to get themselves back in this, a little bit on their heels, but still anybody's game in the big scheme of things. 25 minutes into the game, that enemy blue coming up quite soon here. And we'll see what they will be able to do with that.
Yeah, so Nautilus grabs the golem buff. Navia's going to get hers in the pretty near future if he's not wearing it already. Oh, no, that's going to spawn in 2 minutes from now. So they've actually got a bit of a separation here on these timers. They've caught up to this Nautilus, though, and he is taking so very much damage, trying to Shirley's away. That will not be the case. Wicked picking up that kill with assists across the board. And now that the jungler is dead, they can easily go for this Baron. Snoopy's smite is up. This could be a very easy attempt here.
It could. We also have quite a bit of long-range poke here, so they can throw it over. Oh, putting the ulti down and forcing him to walk away. The ward goes down. They do not have an Oracle's. Made in Italy has been forced out of that Oracle's position since it's costing them too much at the moment. A very nice charge. Oh, there's the Oracle's actually on Shen. A huge frost, and Kennen gets taken. Almost. The shield absolutely keeps him alive there.
And counter logic. They're taking damage slowly, but they're still doing okay enough here. The Baron is going down. They're taking some poke damage. Jake puts down that phosphorus bomb. Still more poke. There's the smite. Good smite. Counter logic picks that one up.
3250 on Baron. Made in Italy forced to back, regroup, and set up the turtle now. As we said before, that Baron acting like that 4-minute pause button. You don't want to do anything to the team that has it, and you want to be able to just stop everything that they're doing at the time.
Yeah, so Wicked right now spamming down minions. It's probably not too bad for them to sit and farm for a little bit. They all have about 1,000 gold banked up, though. So pretty soon these guys are going to back and buy some items. And you can see Wicked recalling right now. Snoopy doing the same thing. Froggen clearing that one last wave, and then he will head back. And then after Yellow Pete and Kremlin doing this bottom wave, I think they will do that as well. And so Counter Logic Gaming says, okay, we used the first minute of Baron buff to make sure that we didn't die. They didn't do any silly ganks. We cleared all the minion waves. All the waves will push towards their base. We can now pick any lane we want. We can push in any direction, and we will be supported by a minion wave. They've all went back and bought items. They're all pretty much ready to go on this. Wicked will actually come down and go for the lizard buff. You can see his build. He's building half assassin, half tanky. You can see the phage and the sheen in there. He can build Hexbreaker, Wit's End. He's got a lot of resist on that build, 2,300 health, and he's not even level 18 yet. He's in pretty good shape right now in this fight. He's going to be ready to sort of push through and assassinate like he did earlier where he picked up that Kennen kill.
Yep, and something to really point out here is you're looking at the CSs, the 3 main CS for each team. CLG.EU are over 200, putting an average in between them of 50 for that difference. What CLG.EU is doing different is they're almost freezing their lanes as these lanes are coming in. We saw that Made in Italy lost their top and, or not bottom turret yet, but that top and mid. Losing that top allows you to farm a little bit better, gives you a little bit more safety if you freeze your lane, but they're just pushing it back into the favor of CLG.EU, not using that money into their favor, and they're almost down about 7,000 gold now with CLG, a lot of their CS over 220.
Yeah, you're just seeing them kind of stab for major objectives now. Wicked going for this bottom turret. He's going to pick that one up very easily, and they're actually going for a split push because they know Aurelia can escape any one individual champion here. And Urgot, of course, poking so very well, doing a good amount of damage to this Kennen. And Made in Italy's wave clearing not quite as strong. They're kind of relying on just Corki, and that's their only real minion area of effect damage. Counter logic. Oh, there's this rally as they both pop. Oh, Shen just misses the flash taunt. That would have been huge for them. But they're going to jump on Aquila instead. So much pain going off. Pops the solar flare, and there comes Wicked off to the side, dashing around, doing as much damage as possible. Aquila does go down to the Ignite. Excellent job there by Wicked. And now Counter Logic Gaming are going to be ready to push a 5 versus 4. They've still got Soraka able to keep spamming in health. Good cooldown reduction as well. Shirelia's and the Ionian boost of Lucidity. And you can see them just dropping down these turrets right now. It's looking great right now for CLG.
You know, Leona using her ultimate, so not being as effective, but with the CC she brings to the fight and the ability to move around, that would have been very helpful for this one. A very good pick off by Wicked there, as you noticed. She jumped at him for the Zenith Blade, and they will be able to take out the first inhibitor here as they back. Oh no, they did not take it out. Lil Pete's like, wait a minute guys, we did not hit this. Let's go ahead and hit it one more time. But they may be forcing themselves into a fight here. The wall goes down, Zenith Blade in, Z-Clips gets dropped on Shen, and we do see the Leona go down as he gets back into the game. A beautiful kill onto Kennen in middle, and it looks like CLG will be able to clean this one up as they caught them off guard. Very nice wall by Frog in there to start off the fight.
Yeah, absolutely great positioning. They did so very much damage there. Shen actually was unable to ult anyone. It is up right now. Managed to not make anyone survive there. And Counter Logic Gaming moving in for the kill here. This will be the second turret down, and CLG going to be playing in tomorrow's tournament.
A very well played game. Made in Italy putting up a very good match here. 15-6, the end score, and CLG will make the final count in the books and make it into tomorrow's finals.
Yeah, beautiful game by both these teams. A very, very scary early game for them, though. Made in Italy played a phenomenal open there. They were up in kills. They got the first dragon. They were winning in gold up and down for a while. It was only until CLG said, okay, stop. Guys,
right.
Come on. Come on. We're supposed to win this, right? And they sat there and said, okay, look, let's freeze it. We know we have individual skill in bounds. Let's just farm. Let's make the mid game. Let's make the next dragon.
Right.
And that was when they fought. It was 5-5 until that next dragon. They put phenomenal wards down. Urgot and Anivia had great poke as Made in Italy came in, and they picked up. They forced Shen away. They had great positioning, and they got the dragon for free. And they just started picking up these kills over and over. It went from 5-5 to 15-6.
No, yeah,
they gave
exactly.
up one kill.
That was a huge turning point in the game, and I think the turning point was that second dragon. If Kennen were able to inch in a little bit more and get the damage that they needed, as we said in the beginning of the match, you know, you asked me who was going to win, it's going to be early for Made in Italy. But if they don't go late, they're going to have 3 tanks that can't do enough damage, right? You said Aurelia would scale harder than Shen. Obviously, Maokai able to help his team out in utility a little bit more. That peeling as well. Nautilus still an amazing pick, and he was playing a great game at 1-0-1. But just that team fight really counted them out for it. They had a lot of timers. They had the blue timer. They had the next dragon timer. That really forced them into taking turrets. As I said, Made in Italy wasn't freezing those broken lanes as much. They weren't able to CS. As we see the CS on the screen, as I said, there's about a 50 average difference in CS between the top 3 CSs of each team. And that is a lot of gold. 20 CS coming in, about to be a kill for yourself. So you can just imagine both of those players having 2 kills over the other in aspect, you know?
Yeah, you're just looking at the kills overall, or sorry, the gold overall. And you've got 3 members of Counterlogic Gaming above 10,000. It's Yellow Pete at 11K, Froggen and Wicked basically there as well. They're actually all within about 200 gold of each other.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Snoopy's at 8.5, and you've got Cruppo at the bottom at 7.3. But you look over at Made in Italy, and again, the early game was so very close until they could just finally snowball it over. But they've got, I mean, their highest is 8.3 thousand. He's second to last place on, compared to the Counterlogic Gaming lineup. Everyone else sitting around 7,000 gold. Their actual support only at 5,000. So they were just not nearly as rich in that game. That's what you saw happening in those later fights. Is that even they had those 2 really good fights in a row where Counterlogic took over the second dragon, and then for the third, even though Italy took the dragon kill, Counterlogic said, no, here's a fight. We'll focus Kennen first, take it over, and they demolished there. From then, they were just up in gold. They picked up 1 kill, got a Baron, and they said, okay, guys, we're up like 10,000 gold on you. Any fight's going to work for us. And they just kind of said, well, we'll play well enough. We'll land our crowd controls. We'll position ourselves well. Yep. And you could see them they just stopped dying because they were just ahead. They were winning in kills. They were winning in experience, gold, levels, all of it. And it didn't matter anymore. They could just kind of push for the win.
Right. I think it comes into the fact that CLG and themselves and the entire team have been playing for so long in the LAN environment, the LAN experience. Being on a LAN is completely different. Made in Italy, however, showing that they did have that early game. It's really where you see the teamwork, that mid to late game, the constant warding, the constant oracles. Made in Italy did that. Probably a force to be reckoned with here in upcoming seasons.
Yeah, they definitely did very well. I hope to see them come out for future events, as you just said. That would be cool. I mean, they definitely played phenomenally, right? You can't count them out. They definitely played very, very well. These guys obviously have a bit of skill, well-coordinated team and all that. But, in the end, it was just saying, hey, we outscale you late game. Let's pause the game and get ourselves there.
Indeed. So, guys, that's going to do it for us here. DreamHack Summer 2012. Until tomorrow, until we bring you powerhouse teams like Fnatic.
Oh, Fnatic, Moscow 5.
I was going to give you the next one and go back.
Oh, my bad. I completely.
But yeah, Fnatic, Moscow 5 as well, who we haven't seen in a long time I haven't seen on any stream. I know they've been playing strong. I've seen their matchups, but I really haven't seen what they've been able to bring to the table. And is it going to be different from what we saw at Hanover? Are they going to be able to do that early game aggression again? All their teams, as well as Millennium was moving through that BYOC. I'm sure they made it through as well. And Curse is here too.
Yeah, and of course you're going to see the other 4 teams coming through here through the Bring Your Own Computer tournament bracket as well. Counterlogic Gaming going to be one of those, and you're going to see a couple of other names come through as well. We were kind of looking at the rosters there in those few matches. You've got a lot of high elo players, a lot of known names, even if they're not running under any major tags. We've got Millennium in here. If they won their match, of course, I'd have to find out. But you've got a lot of sort of all-star names you guys will tend to recognize. This is going to be a pretty important tournament.
Yeah, and we're a lot of people still excited to see what Fnatic can do with the new lineup.
Yep, we'll see how that goes.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us here. Rivington III and Freak. We'll see you tomorrow.